Hello, and welcome to the 52nd live stream of Rank Warmaster. We haven't broadcast for a while. It's not because we haven't been busy, but because most of the things really had to do with the tutorials and internal updates and things of that nature. And it's kind of difficult to show all the different internal things in a live stream. But there has been a lot of updates, as you might imagine, over these months. So I'm going to go over some of the ones that I think I can kind of show you, or talk about the ones that I can. Okay, so a lot of what has changed is both the basics tutorial and the flight tutorial are now completely fully playable. That's one of the big things. Another really big thing, honestly, is which is kind of a thing that should have always have been here, if you will. We have mouse wheel support. So you think, like, duh, it should have always been there, and you're not wrong. But now I can use the mouse wheel to scroll through the different lists and such. Now, a lot of the changes had to do with the tutorials, with dialogue windows following different parts per screen. Oh, I looked that up, of course. One of the other changes we found out is the get these out of here so they don't actually
Orders accepted. Orders
cause
accepted.
a issue.
Orders received.
Oh, I guess you need to be repaired, so you just saw that.
Orders accepted.
Now I guess we actually have
Orders
repairs.
accepted.
I'm gonna let the turrets do their job. But one of the big things we've changed
Orders accepted.
is the buildings and such now have a much more bloom. They are now set so that different corporations have their own coloring. As a good example, if I go and visit the enemy's city over here, and zoom in here, these guys have a more purplish glow on their buildings and such, and on their ships and such. So that's how that one's going to work. Now, if you notice right now, I can like grab these guys here, and now I can actually do weapon groups. So I just create a group. So what does that really mean? So that means if I come all the way back to my own guy, I can just double click and come back. I'll put him in control group 1, let's say. So if I zoom in, that's the guy I'm piloting. So if I hit 3, I'm back to having these guys selected. It was actually thinking I was trying to add them. That's what I was trying to show on the screen. And now if I go 1, it picks me. If I double click, it'll take me right back to my own ship, because that's how I grabbed it. That's standard RTS. You want control groups between what you're fighting against and what you're actually doing and things of that nature. The other big thing that I don't think people really noticed, but there are controls over here. They're hidden right now. And originally, if, say, you had a turret and you put your mouse over it, you couldn't see it, or you couldn't select it, and now you can. So unless there's something here blocking, you can actually still use it, which was another quality of life thing that was completely ridiculous that you couldn't do that. Again, we fixed a lot of the stuff were, as I mentioned before, quality of life things. As you probably have seen, the turrets actually do their job for once. That was another big thing. Anyone was like, why is this guy hanging out here? Because he's disabled. Yeah, so when things get disabled, you can actually they get a salvage ship and go out and do that, which we showed in other things. I guess this guy's probably coming back down because he was got shut down. But you can still select your guys and say, hey, go attack things.
Orders accepted.
And there he goes. Going back to select 1 and center on him. Now, right now, the AI is controlling my own ship. So, but if I'm piloting him, I can see what my guy was doing and then take over. So, go and get this guy. It's like, you can hear he's in the background going target disabled because I just disabled him. So I'll go back to the sim screen here, the nav screen.
Orders accepted.
More my guy back. Oh, he's trying to attack me. Really cheeky guy, huh? So I have other guys hanging out. So once he goes idle, we'll probably re-engage, and that's okay. Let's see, what else do I have on my list here? So if we go into the factory screen and we go into, yeah, this is the quick design. You've seen this before, but the biggest changes here is that we actually have tooltips for everything. So now we actually know what a lot of these things are doing, including the we go in here, we can see the ratios and stuff like that. So all the different text comes up right in here because there's more centralized location for that kind of thing. So that's always been the big problem, is that there was all these minor changes, but it wasn't enough to like justify a full live stream over it. But at this point, it's built up enough that's been done. Now, another thing that unfortunately OBS won't capture is we have Steam integration now. And what that means is in the multiplayer, you can go into hosting and you can do an invite and the Steam pop-up will pop up and you can invite your friends. And whether or not they're running the game yet or not, it will, if they click OK, I'll join, it will automatically load up the game and automatically join your server. And that makes it far easier than the way you've seen us do it in the past. The other big thing that we've also added is achievements. And now we only have one that's actually active in a second, but it gives you an idea of, let's see what my guy's doing here. Just obviously hear what's going on in the background. So we do have a very large list of achievements. We just have only active ones. For it. So yeah, there's been a lot of very small individual updates, but they all add up. So that's mostly why I wanted to do this live stream, to show that we haven't disappeared, that we're still working on things. It's just not giant steps forward. We've been mostly doing small triage things. We see bugs as we come across. People get a lot more interested. We've recently done a podcast interview with Space Game Junkies, which I highly recommend you go look at. I'll put the link in the description below. At least on the YouTube side of things, anyway. And yeah, so we've done a lot of things. We're in print, festivals and such. A lot of positive feedback, which I'm thrilled about. I have no idea. Let me check my list real quick, see if I didn't mention anything. If it hasn't been obvious, here, I'll go back to this. I think I did mention all the different buildings are now have all the glows and all the different new colors they're supposed to have. I know I mentioned that a little bit earlier. Yeah, I think that's the bigger list. If you look on, we release every 2 weeks, and there's a long list of the patches, and we discuss in general what we do to change. So you can see all the little bits and pieces that we've been changing over all this time. But I felt at this point we really need to do another live stream video, so you know, like, hey, things are happening. So in any case, that's it. I just didn't want to go too far with it. I know another thing that I guess is not in my notes, although that's interesting that you can see this guy being repaired because he got too close to the factory, is the different buildings will actually tell you what they're doing. So if you move your cursor over each one, it'll say you know, what the status of each thing is, which I thought was kind of interesting. So if you're doing research, you can say, okay, is this building doing research? If there's actually like something being built, the factory will say that kind of thing. What's also interesting is if you move the turrets, it will actually say who is, I'll tell these guys to come back over.
Orders accepted.
Actually, I'll tell them to put them in.
Orders received. Orders accepted.
The reason why I bring this up is that you can tell what
Orders received.
the turrets are doing. So you can see what weapons are in the turrets, and if they have a target, who are they targeting? So here comes a new guy, for example. And so we can keep my cursor on this, and he's coming straight in, and I'll know he's going to come straight for this particular building, because it has tendency to be the closest. And as soon as he picks him up, there he goes. See? It says target, and that happens to be called the Whapper, and you can see what everybody's doing. Now these guys have very short range beam weapons, but they're very powerful in the turrets. But they're actually doing that. We're going to start changing some of the balance on this, obviously, to make these things a little more practical. So in any case, just want to give you an idea and a heads up of what's actually happening. You can see all the withered and defeated ships from all these tests and stuff like that. This is why we send out a salvage ship to go clean up all that and go get the resources. I wonder how much I have left my node here. Let's go on. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so I think that's it for today. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Alright, bye-bye.